Hello, and welcome to another episode of A Younger Theatre in Isolation. My name is Jay Granger, and I am joined today by the fabulous Harveen Mann, Helen Hobson, and Norma Atallah. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. I'm sure our listeners have heard of you all, but for those less familiar, I'm going to give a quick introduction to you all, so I hope that's okay. Firstly, hello, Harveen.
Hi.
So your full name is Harveen Mann. You trained at the Royal Academy of Musical Theatre, this year being recognised as an artist who has significantly contributed to the music profession and to the Academy itself, hence the Aram title at the end of your name. Huge congratulations for this award.
Oh, thanks.
Since your time at RAM, you have had a varied career on stage with credits such as Bend It Like Beckham, School of Rock in South Korea, Pirates on Parade, Peter Pan at the Park, The Thing About Tom, Election Idol, and The Witches. Your TV work includes Doctors and BBC's Lee Nelson's Well Good Show. You've also been a backing vocalist for ITV's X Factor and Britain's Got Talent, and as well as doing many commercials, you are the face of Dulux India for the Diwali seasonal range.
Thanks, Jay. I forgot about that.
And a big hello to Helen.
Hiya.
Hi, Helen.
Hello.
Your full name is Helen Hobson. You trained at Mount View. You are a London-based actor and singer whose musical theatre credits include Come From Away, Only the Brave, Sunny Afternoon, The Sound of Music, The Sunny Side of the Street, The Human Comedy, Blood Brothers, Chicago, and of course Donna in Mamma Mia, where you have played the role not once, not twice, not even 3 times, but 4 times. Firstly in the International Tour Original Cast Production 2004, at the Prince of Wales Theatre 2006,
True.
the Novello Theatre 2013,
True.
and more recently in 2018, 2019 in the UK tour.
True.
As well as performing, you are also a passionate wellness coach promoting herbal life and healthy living, known to fans as Healthy Helen or Hobbo.
Thank you very much. Very true. All true. Guilty. I feel like I'm on Mastermind.
And thirdly, we have the lovely Norma. Hello, Norma.
Hi.
So your full name is Norma Atallah. You trained at the Brighton School of Music and Drama and Nesta Brookings School of Ballet. You have an array of credits across theatre, TV and film. In the London West End alone, you have performed in Les Mis, Daisy Pulls It Off, Pirates of Penzance, Matador, Cats, Chicago, Evita and Oklahoma, and more recently at the National Theatre in the stunning musical Follies. Other theatre credits include In the Heights, 9, Babette's Feast, Stepping Out, and The Rocky Horror Show. You are known well for your appearances in the films Beauty and the Beast, Mamma Mia, Les Mis, and Yentl, and have graced our TV screens in many shows. Just to name a few, The Sound of Music, Live, EastEnders, Friday Night Project, and my favourite, Chuckle Vision.
Oh, Chuckle, yes. We love Chuckle Vision.
Oh,
we did.
Chuckle Vision.
Oh, we did. We loved them. We loved them.
But is there anything I've missed for any of you? Obviously, there probably is a few things, but anything big?
Anything big?
Oh, well, go on. I got to snog Cliff Richard 7 times a week.
Oh, yes, Helen.
Wow. How was that? How was that? Tell us everything.
Amazing. He's my pal.
Oh.
Amazing. Yeah, that was on Heathcliff. That was 1996, 97. Brilliant.
Wow.
I saw that.
Oh, I loved it so
I saw that. Yeah, it's terrific.
The music was fantastic. We got absolutely slated, but I loved it. And hey, here's my house.
Yay!
Yes.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So great.
Performing, as we all know, is very demanding and takes priority over everything else sometimes, including spending time with family, friends, and having the time to look after our own mental well-being. Has lockdown given you time to catch up with people, and how have you experienced having time to reflect on yourselves? Has there been moments throughout this period of time where you have felt anxious, maybe?
Anxious. When you said anxious, I was thinking about the pleasant things, and then when you said anxious, I could feel myself go, oh yeah. Very early on, March 16th, 15th, 16th, David fell ill with COVID, and he was ill for 12, like seriously ill for 12 days. And I have a little 8-year-old girl, and Isabel, and oh my goodness, and I got it as well. We were shielding from my mum, who's in her 80s, and my aunt, and that was probably the most anxious I have been. Wow, I can even feel, I can feel the tension rising as I even talk about it, because it was horrendous. It was, luckily he's out through it and everything is fine, but it was then 5 to 7 weeks afterwards, recovery. My symptoms were very mild. I had the no taste, the flu-y feel, but mine only lasted for about 5 days. But that, being in the home, asking friends to drop off shopping for us because we couldn't do anything, kind of trying to isolate. We don't live in a big house, but I've got a spare room, so we were camped in here, and he was in our main bedroom, and we'd use separate bathrooms and all of that, and delivering food and then leaving it for 2 days, and then he would get up, if he could get up, and bring it downstairs, put it in the dishwasher. All that state of anxiousness. Even today we still are living fairly isolated. We haven't been out. I've been asked to go out. You said meet friends. I haven't really met friends. I had a couple of people arrive in the garden last week. That's it. But because I have elderly relatives, my mum, they're hearty women, but they're still in my kind of lockdown bubble.
Yeah.
So I've just been to we clean our shopping every day still. We wear our masks diligently. We have done the whole time. So there is still this heightened level of sort of anxiousness in a way the whole time. Don't you agree?
Yeah. Oh no, totally. I think when it first came about and everyone said, right, it's lockdown, you can't go here, you can't go there, and I mean, I haven't had it. I don't think I've had it. I know I had a sort of like a tightening in the chest and a bit of a cough, but that was much early on. I don't think I've had it. So but I think the whole thing about the toilet roll situation, running to supermarkets and buying loads of toilet roll, and then you can't find the toilet roll. And the great thing is that in our road we have a WhatsApp, street WhatsApp. So people are helping each other. So for those that were isolated, you do shopping for them, or you help somebody who can't get out. So, but anxious, I know that one, Helen. I think, I think it's funny, isn't it? Because even though we're at home most of the time, being told to stay at home is something different, isn't it, really? Yeah. And I think that feeling, I don't know, I think the whole thing is about, I guess that has been the big one. But I think getting to know oneself is the other, actually.
Yeah. It's a long time, isn't it? It's a long time for self-reflection that we're not used to having. And I think that there's been so many posts on Instagram and on social media about, how to cope with so much time to think. But for some of us, that's a luxury, but for others, it can be quite a scary time to have to look inward and say, what should I change? What should I do differently after this? I think it can come as a blessing and a curse for lots of people.
Yeah. I guess in our parents' time, they'd live on a can of beans or whatever. And I mean, here we are rushing out with people with loads of food, and I don't know, strange times. I've
quite enjoyed that. I've quite enjoyed being made aware of how frivolous perhaps I have been with food or wastage, and I would have told you that I was careful, and I think I have been, but now I've gone even. I'm better now. Living out of the freezer. We didn't stockpile particularly, but then if there isn't anything and we don't want to go out, then we'll have something just out of the freezer that doesn't particularly go together. It isn't really a great meal, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. Exactly. Yeah.
Still eating. Yeah.
Again?
You're still eating.
Oh, me, absolutely.
Being musical theatre performers, has singing around the house helped at all? For any?
Well, I've been on it. No, I haven't sung around the house, but I'll tell you what I have done. I've put on my 45 records, and I've started to enjoy. In fact, it made me laugh. I was screaming out, "Help! People's number, somebody help! Help!" Yes, so I've kind of enjoyed. I haven't actually picked up a musical theatre song. I've had students when I've been teaching online. Harveen and Helen, you know that one.
Yeah.
And that's been enjoyable, but I haven't actually got out a song. I feel a bit naughty actually. But
that's really interesting. I haven't sung at all, apart from a very dear friend, Alan Heap and Joe Heap. It was her birthday, and he secretly wrote to everybody and said, "Would you do this piece?" And we had to do a special piece, and it was 15 minutes listening to it on the headphones, waiting for your bit, pretending that you were at the party, and then come out with your bit. And I loved doing that. And he did a skit. He rewrote the words to some of the songs of My Fair Lady, which I joined in with, and that's the first time. And it's the last time that I've sung, because I think I was and it was quite near the period of kind of being not great, feeling not so great. So I couldn't sing. I tried to sing. I thought, I ought to sing something. I ought to just have a little play with the piano, or every time I tried to sing, huge wave of emotion, actually, because I think the act of singing, the release of actually doing it, not performing, just singing itself, for me, it's too emotional still. I only just in the last 2 or 3 weeks have I started really listening to a few more things and allowing myself to be upset and sit. And Matthew Price, did you see his amazing quartet? I played that 3 times, and I loved it. That was
fantastic. The 4 boys, absolutely,
I think that, wasn't it funny that, like, when it first started lockdown, everyone was like, "Oh, we've got time to write cabarets, and we must pick up an instrument and learn this, that, and the other." And you think, no, I don't have to actually. I'll get by. And I think we all teach, don't we? And I think being a teacher, when you have to listen all day long, or every day, to students, sometimes it can take away some of the joy of sitting and because you want that time to have a glass of wine or have a cup of tea and chill, rather than having to listen to might dabble sometimes. But it just gets a bit like, I just want to have a bit of quiet time. I don't want to listen to any more voices, especially my own.
I think it's just to say, because I can only speak for myself here. I mean, I know I'm a workaholic. I mean, I know I am. If I'm not performing, I'm teaching, and when that's not there, I think, oh my God, what the hell am I going to do with myself? So I think when I say sitting at home with myself, that's been the one about not having to go out and teach or go out and perform. It's it's finding that place, it's finding that balance, I think, for me, which has been okay, actually. It has been okay.
I think a lot of people have been saying that, actually, that day to day their lives are just so hectic, especially as performers. We don't stop, not just when you're working, but also when you're at home, you're also working, you're also preparing, you're auditioning. It just never ends, really. It's very hard, isn't it, to just stop. So I think this is, as much as it has been a struggle at times to deal with stopping, I think it has been almost, dare say it, a luxury as well for a lot of us. I do have a question, though, from designer Isabella Van Brackle. She has asked, how have you looked after your voices in the months of lockdown without technically having to sing? Has that something that's concerned you at all? Obviously, months without having to sing.
I'll jump in. I think for teaching online, I've found that my voice at the end of the day, because you are constant, that for me has been quite knackering, actually. Put that aside, you don't go around screaming around, do you, really? I don't know. No, I think other than that, I think for me, it's been quite gentle. I do gentle warm-ups sometimes, just to,
As I said, I found that singing too raw for me. But I do teach, and mine is slightly changed, gone from older adults now to I've included children. And I agree. I think you have to work harder, because you do this bit, and so therefore I know when I've done my 4 hours, I definitely know I'm tireder. So water intake is always good. But no, I haven't particularly done. I mean, it's been a complete vocal rest in a way.
Which is good.
It's so tiring, isn't it, to like teach online, and it's the energy I think it requires as well. Just because you're not in the room with somebody, you're having to like keep your energy level up so high, especially with younger students. And it is tiring on the voice. I have been steaming. I'm a bit of a vocal geek like that. I've been making sure that I steam every evening before I go to bed and just up the water. That's all we can do, really.
Yeah.
I have another question actually from actor Tim Chapman. He asks, in terms of imagining different ways of performing without theatre spaces, how much enjoyment do you get out of watching stage performances streamed online, like the NT live productions? Or have you found yourself drawn to other types of content during lockdown?
I've looked at NT live. And in fact, I have to say, catching up on stuff that I missed, I found an absolute treat. So for me, I really enjoyed that. I haven't done a lot of it though, but I should do more because it's there and it's available. So for me, I've kind of really enjoyed that side of things, but I do miss being live, I have to say. Seeing it on stream is one thing, absolutely, but actually being in there and being part of it is something I miss. Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel actually, Norma.
Do you?
Yeah, and I haven't watched as much as I maybe should have. I've tried to watch, I have watched some of the NT live productions, and I've also watched other productions that are not part of NT. And I do really enjoy it. It's fantastic to be able to still stream theatre into our own homes, but nothing beats going to the theatre.
No.
And I do find it a lot easier to switch off without insulting any producers, but I find it easy to switch off at home, where in the theatre I would never switch off. I'm always there in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I'm supposed to be getting married this October. Supposed to be. Harveen, you're actually my bridesmaid.
I am.
Going to sing at my wedding. And Helen, I remember singing at your beautiful wedding.
You did.
Which, by the way, Helen, I would have paid to sing at your wedding. It was such a lovely day. It was a while ago now, but it feels like yesterday.
It was 10 years ago last Saturday.
Wow.
10 years ago. That's a lot younger then.
Helen, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's fab.
Oh, Harveen, don't even get any ideas. But the question is, do you all find yourselves constantly being asked to sing for friends and family? And where do you draw the line between performing for work and for fun?
Never. I don't think I have. I a few friends, a few friends, a couple of weddings, but not. It's not a regular thing. Should I be offended then? Is there something?
Not alone. Not alone, Helen.
No.
Yeah, I'm the same actually, but I know a lot of performers would not. They'd like to put a price tag on, I guess.
I think that's so crazy though. How can
like it as well?
That's mad. If your friend has asked you to sing at their wedding, and I find it such an honour to be asked to be part of the musical, vision of somebody's wedding, and it's kind of like your contribution, isn't it? For me, Jay, get ready for my answer. I've got two answers for you. I've got number one. My first answer is I have family that don't often ask me to sing, and it offends me when I walk into a room and I see that they've paid somebody, a stranger, to sing like a set at their wedding. I get quite offended. I'm not going to lie there. Put it out there. Hope you're all watching. And secondly, then I've got the opposite with friends that always ask, and I will always happily sing at your dues. Like that's very kind of you to ask. So I'll always be there.
Oh, bless you, Harveen.
And I'm the same actually. I do find it hard to say no to anything really that's unpaid. And
I don't find that hard at all to say no to that.
That's
really?
That's what I have to be better at.
Joking. It's really difficult. I think it's so hard, and also it also veers into some professional jobs as well. They're not being paid thing, let alone friends, and that I do find extraordinary. And I'm more and more. What's that amazing campaign that Equity were doing? There's a phrase: professionally made, professionally paid.
Yeah.
It's
that's great.
Slightly going off subject because you were talking about friends and family and stuff, but actually when people say, well, you could do it, Hobbo, you could do that, couldn't you? And I'm like, yeah, sure, call my agent.
Yeah,
because there is a line, isn't there? It costs it costs a lot to do the career that we all chose, not just the training, but then to survive while you're not in work as well. There's a lot more to it, isn't there?
favours. Let me just ask that lawyer and that solicitor if they'd just rock up and help me.
Yeah, nobody else would get asked to do anything for free.
No.
Yeah. Although gone by, I mean, time gone by, fringe theatre, when it was really, pumping, I remember doing fringe for nothing because I thought, I kind of interested in the piece. You have a friend directing it and you think, do you know what? I want to do this. I'm just going to go for it. And although you knew you'd have 2 bums on the seats, and the 2 bums on the seats were your friends. And of course, for me, but then, I don't know, I say in this situation, and maybe I'm coming off the discussion here, that I think fringe theatre is the one that will rock and roll again at the moment.
Yeah.
I really do.
Then having said that, I can easily contradict myself because I went back to do Sunny Side of the Street, at the German Street Theatre when lovely Tim MacArthur asked me to do it for 50 quid a week or something. And as a result of doing that, the Grinderods got to hear that I'd come out of my pregnancy, I was still alive, I could still sing. And then the Mamma Mia thing got offered again. So I agree. Yeah, you just, it depends what it is. But friends and family, and then kind of odd kind of contracts that come up when they offer you no money. I think that's, fringe is a whole nother topic, isn't it? And I think it's a very special place to be. Yeah, I agree.
I have another question from Jay Lawrence. She's the head of performing arts of Coleg Cymoedd, South Wales. They asked, what advice would you give aspiring young performers moving forward from lockdown, and how can they remain motivated?
I think, for me, I always say to my students, and actually for any young person, I think, get back into it, get back to classes, get back to group classes when we can, and get back to your singing lessons and classes at the Actor Centre if you can afford to, or even if you can't, and money's, obviously money has become difficult for a lot of people during this pandemic. Get together and read a play together, have a cup of tea and have a little hangout where arts is included. I think we've got to come back being a bit brave and tough and ready to fight again, because we've got a fight on our hands, guys.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I say research. You've got time to look at all these wonderful shows and free some of them. And I just say to students, look at the shows, just research. I think for me that if you research and you've got your material behind you, what can go wrong, except your nerves can let you down, and that's okay, But if you're talking about actually what you do in lockdown, I agree with Harveen totally, but I think just observe and see as much as you can, absorb, soak up everything.
I agree. Sharpen your tools. Sharpen your tools. Sharpen your tools. All of that. The research. If there's songs that you're supposed to have learn the songs. Sort out your rep files. All that stuff that you're supposed to do. That you're supposed to have. If you still not got a speech, get your speech.
Yeah. Do you know what? I agree, Helen, and I will mention the name. Emily Langham. I have to say that she, for me, is probably one of the students that researched everything. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe the backstories, everything that she did towards a song or a part that she was up for. And I do find that a lot of students, do forgive me, don't do that on their own initiative unless you tell them to.
Yeah.
And somehow you want students to be, act on their own initiative and go, I should look at that. Like students, you say, I don't know if you experienced this, Helen, Harveen, anyone know West Side Story? And they look at you as if to go, no. And you go, you don't know West Side Story. And you go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Where are
it's on Netflix. All these things. Also, that's the thing. We have so much access now, don't we?
Yeah.
Get on Netflix, watch a few things. There's so many documentaries. There's like so much theatre that we have access to now. That there's no excuse.
My favourite thing to do is, especially if it's like I've done a few Q&As, but when I was teaching in drama schools in the live situation as well, I would say, what is it you want to do? And they would list off these things and their ambitions and their dreams, and I'd really get them to really dig deep about finding out where you want to be, and that's why you're here at Arts Ed or Mount View or wherever it is. Fantastic, great. So a production and let's choose Mamma Mia. When do they cast? When's the cast change? Who is the casting director? Who's the musical director? Who produces it? Yeah. Okay, well, let's leave that one then. You said Chicago, you fancy being in Chicago. Right, great. Who casts that? Yeah, good. Dear Evan Hansen was who cast? Yeah, great. That for me was great. Yeah. Kind of industry stuff. If I mention a name or a casting director, or absolutely. If I said a particular working thing, if I used a particular technical word, it was maybe not as well known. So that research can also be part of it. You want to be, and then if it's some of them I went to the dance schools and they said they really wanted to be on the ships, which is phenomenal now, especially because they're doing the shows as well as full-time kind of dance shows. And again, when's the season? When is the season for that? Yeah. Who are the big liners? Yeah. Who do you write to? How do you get into it? What do you do? Yeah. And they just
I agree.
No.
I agree, Helen. And I do remember when I joined the commercial theatre, you know, for me, I'd look on TV and I'd see who was casting it. Yeah. And that's what you should be doing, following up what you've just said, Helen. Look up the casting directors, like you say.
Write it down.
When you auditioned, who did you audition for? Oh, somebody that was small, dark hair. What was the name?
Oh,
don't know. So, you know, I just say names are really important. And then look up the names, see what they've done. Really important.
Yeah. And it's like you said before, we have the internet now, which we have all the information we need at our fingertips. So there's even less of an excuse, really.
It is.
But also, the internet can be a difficult place, as we all know. And sometimes we see news we don't always want to see, and it's hard to know what's true and what's not, what to take with a pinch of salt and what to take seriously. I saw, Harveen, that you posted on your Facebook page 3 days ago. I wasn't stalking you like we are. You were stating how angry you were that only 2 British Asian actors were cast in the Indian story A Suitable Boy, a new 6-part series for the BBC. You were rightly so quite upset that anyone would think that a British Asian actor would not be able to do the accent in an authentic way. Did you get any clearer perspective on the Guardian article, and are you still angry?
So, oh my gosh, the British Asian acting community are up in arms about this whole thing, because it's a series that's been produced by the British BBC, okay, and they've gone over to India to film. They've used 2 British actors in a pool of about, I think they're using 100 actors, 2 are British. And yes, the reason was because they wanted authentic Indian accents, which is ridiculous. And a lot of us that are performers in Britain that come from Asian backgrounds have all been employed in the past to do an Indian accent, and wherever that region is, it's part of our culture and it's part of our heritage, and we've heard it all our lives, so it's accessible easily. So yes, my inbox flooded with, you know, comments and questions and about what we felt, how we could make this change in the future. So the thing that's come about in the last couple of days since you've seen my post was that Mira, who is the director, has come back actually, and off the back of that article, and has said that, I'll just quote her here: "I saw no reason to look beyond India. I know British actors in England very well. Most of us you haven't met. And I have a pulse on Asian actors in England, but mostly had to look within India." That was the comeback from that article, and frankly, it's just not good enough. And I think nothing has changed since when all that has come about. And I think, you know, there's always room for change in theatre, isn't there, with gender and everything, or lots of different things. But I just feel like this was a complete shock to us that 2 British actors were cast, and to say that they know British actors, Indian actors really well, is just like a kind of kick in the teeth to our whole sort of industry. So that was the comeback from that. And I think all we can hope now is to look forward and do everything we can to try and make people a bit more open-minded about this whole thing, because we've had so many TV shows that are based in India where English actors have been used. So it's just, we're all sort of a little bit confused, but there's nothing we can do apart from just try and make the future a little bit more open.
I missed the article. So are you saying that they've used
all Indian actors from India, because they felt that the accents were more authentic, whereas it's produced by the British BBC.
Right.
And to have an answer come said, but it's because they can't do authentic Indian accents, was just ludicrous to us. So yeah, that's that whole article, and it's not going anywhere. But I mean, what can we do? We just have to try and make a change, make people see differently.
I suppose to support you there would have been quite nice if they'd had an open audition or auditions for in British.
Absolutely. In here, just open it up to British Asian actors. Yeah. And I would say the same thing about any other show based in other places if I'd read this. It's not, obviously it's close to my heart because of my background, but I don't believe in this day and age that this is acceptable, really.
Yeah. But also there's an element of typecasting anyway, isn't there? So I think you've obviously been fighting for a long time to have more theatre that's inclusive.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So to now have opportunities and then be told, actually, no, you don't come in bracket either. Like you said, must be such a smack in the mouth. And that's like, I can understand why you're angry about that.
Yeah. And anger isn't going to get us anywhere, is it? It's just trying to make a change. But, it's exactly that, Jay, that where do you fit? I can't be this because of my ethnicity, but then that is my ethnicity and I can't be that either. Where do we sit then? And I think a lot of actors have felt that this whole article and this whole situation has made us feel a bit lost,
Yeah. And I guess sometimes there can be positive things about being typecast. I'm not saying, Helen, that you are ever typecast, but you have played a lot of mums, haven't you? And you are like an amazing mum from what I've seen. So there can be positives to typecasting as well. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's I was thinking of it more for me on a personal level about the musical situation, because very early on in my career, that's where the majority of my work came from. And therefore to break into television or to plays was supposedly a big deal. And I remember going up for my very first TV role, which was Judge John Deed. It was a pilot. And if I'm correct in thinking, and I may be wrong, but I'm almost sure it was Jane Deitch was casting, and she said, Helen, this is one line in a pilot. Are you sure you want to do this? And I was like, yes, Jane. It was with the BBC. And I said, I do, because I don't have any experience in television. And she said, she was really keen on theatre. I've seen you in lots of roles and you've been a leading lady. And now this is one line in television. And I said, yes, but I've not been able to get into television. You're probably one of the first casting directors that's seen me. So she gave me my first break, and then it continued, because I think then when you're in something, then it can kind of carry on and snowball. So I think I'm hoping now that is less so, that if you've made a name for yourself in a particular area, that you can now break up. I'm not totally sure if that's true, but for me, I would say that initially that hindered my career a little bit. I would say that you're known as a singer, you're known as a musical theatre actor. I'm just an actress. My course at Mountview at the time, it was a straight acting course. It wasn't a musical theatre course. I happened to do musicals. You just happen to use your voice differently when you speak. Sometimes you sing and sometimes you just speak with your spoken voice. So it doesn't really matter, does it, what you're doing,
Helen, that's me an audition I went to years ago. And I remember I had to sing with no piano, a cappella, yeah. And then he said to me that, the thing is, you see, that musical theatre actors can't act. And I challenged him. I said, well, I'm sorry, I challenge you on this. I said, I think you're totally wrong. I didn't get the job, and that doesn't matter. But I came out going, yes, Norma, you stood up. And yes, there are, musical theatre is heightened in a way. But I always say, if you come from the truth, like Helen's saying, we're all actors, doesn't matter whether you're musical, straight, whatever. You know, we can do anything and everything.
Yeah. From the mum point of view, I didn't want to. I don't know if you saw, but my little girl came in and she brought me some flowers from the garden.
Oh, they're lovely.
That was nice. I didn't want to interrupt your important speaking, Harvey, but I was just
that was so gorgeous.
And then you said you're a great mum, so that was nice because we had an argument about piano practice earlier, so that's nice.
Oh, so it's a guilt present.
Yeah, probably.
That's so stunning.
So moving on slightly, I recently read a Twitter comment speaking out against the arts receiving funding when homeless people are on the streets and the NHS needs more funds. I personally feel that people underestimate the importance of the arts within our communities. What would you say to anyone that believes arts should not be made a priority for funding at this time?
Well, we're not.
We're not, are we?
We're not a priority at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. I think people have seen that we've been given this, obviously not everyone, but the arts theatres have been given a lump sum from the government. So they just presume that that's, obviously we've been made a priority, but what people don't realise is how little we actually have been made a priority, and that amount is actually very small in the grand scheme of things. I mean, I have a question here from Emily Collin and Eleanor Nayland, both experienced with the Union Bec too. They have both been working hard to support freelancers and performers at this difficult time. But the government have said that they are done fixing the support schemes for individuals, which is a shame because there are so many forgotten freelancers and loads of people are trying to support hashtag no creative left behind. But there seems to be this false assumption that all freelancers are really well off when really there are many who are suffering at the moment and not receiving the help they need. Do you think that there are ways that this could be prevented from reoccurring?
Well, I think, I don't know, it's a difficult one. I mean, I think it's a bit unfair to compare us to NHS, who are doing the most brilliant job. I mean, you know, you forgive me, that's a bit...
No, you're right.
I mean, why, the theatre has been going on for years. And, you know, in the time of the Depression, when Oklahoma was the escapism for people to go and just sit and watch and escape the horror around them. And I don't know, it's a funny old thing, isn't it? I mean, I don't know, girls, whether you told this, but I always remember, you know, being, have you got a proper job yet? You know, and you go, proper job. It is I think people underestimate our profession.
Massively.
I'm sorry, but they do.
Always.
We are all important, and do forgive me, comparing us to NHS, I can't get my head around that one.
It seemed to me like it was just used as an example to try to underestimate how important we are by obviously comparing us to something that obviously everybody cares about and doesn't want to see fail, like the NHS. By doing that, they've obviously just tried to just make us look less important. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know what, Jay, adding to that, I'm sorry, but you know, there are kids that spend a hell of a lot of money to train. I know that our fees weren't as much as, well, I know when I trained, but a lot of kids train because they want to do it. And, you know, and I think today, in today's age, I think people are getting confused with what reality TV is offering and saying, oh, you can do it, or downing, you know, the profession that we actually do, because we all work damn hard to make our profession work, whether it's training, working over, you know, hours over time, because we want it to happen. We want to make it work, you know. So anyway, I'm going on a bit.
No, well said.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I agree. I think the comparison is wrong. I definitely agree with you there. But something that I find very tricky is we haven't come out of lockdown in our professions. You know, it feels to me like the whole world is starting work again, and they sort of started a few weeks ago there, and really, there's nothing happening here. My career that's it. It has stopped. The graduates who are graduating, you know, I'm saying yes, they can research and they can do tools, and I'm thinking, well, what can they audition for? And yes, I know things are starting to shift now, but we are steps, weeks, months behind being able to get our business up and going again.
Absolutely.
New theatre shows, live theatre shows, being able to create new productions is going to, it takes weeks and months for that to happen. But put aside the fundraising that has to happen, but the fact that the nation as kind of workers have gone back to work. We are going to the pub. We are going out for meals. We are going to. It is normality. Oh, it's normal, isn't it? And life's back to normal. No, it isn't.
No.
Not for the rest of us. It's not.
And it's the planning, isn't it? It isn't just that you wake up and you go and sing your heart out. I mean, there's a hell of a lot of planning that goes on.
And so many people who are employed in their different fields, aren't there?
Absolutely.
Huge array of people.
Absolutely. It's tough.
It's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken about very difficult things today, but it's always good to share. We know that we're not alone when we feel these things, and it's good to share that support to other people who are in the same positions as us. But I do want to end, we're coming to an end now, but I do want to end with something fun. So lastly and quickly, if you could all play one role when we get back to normal, whatever that normal will be, what would it be? What would be your dream role? Or have you played it already?
Is this in musical theatre? Yes.
I guess so, but it could be anything, anything really.
I mean, I'm hoping that there becomes Norma the musical and she'll let me play her.
I want to play her. That would be amazing.
Baby cassette, darling, that's what it is. That's the one I've missed out on. No.
Fine. What? Go
Go
on.
on, Helen.
No, I'm waiting to hear what it is.
Oh, I see what you did. Well, I said this the other day. I haven't done it yet, actually. I'd love to play Mrs. Lovett.
Oh,
so good.
you would be great.
I know she's been done time and time again, but she's quirky, she's bad, she's everything. And I don't know, I suppose.
She's you.
Yeah.
I could really see you playing her.
Me too.
Yeah.
Even if it was a fringe production, I'd do it for nothing.
Well, there you are. You put it out.
There you go.
Put it out there now into the atmosphere, so it has to happen.
Yeah.
But there's lots, isn't there? I mean, there's lots. There's lots of wonderful things out there. But yeah, that's kind of one of them. Yeah, Helen.
Do you know, it's a funny question because this got asked a lot on the Q&As that I've been doing recently. And honestly, with my hand on my heart, I have never had a role, even younger days, that I've like, oh God, if I could just do that, if I could do that. Shows, yes, when very early on, I remember doing my research on the shows and going, right, I need to work for that production company, so therefore I need to go and do that, I need to do that, I need to do that, I need to play Mrs. Lyons, Mrs. J. I really wanted to play those roles, but there hasn't really been, and there isn't one. There is the fact that when you said it, I thought, yes, to play a role in the theatre again. I'm looking forward to that. Yeah. My ambition at the moment is to create a role on television, so I hope that's a regular. So that's an ambition that I have, if I could, to say that loosely. But yeah, just in the way that theatre is at the moment, to be able to play a role in live theatre again, that seems so far off at the moment. And to be able to sing, because apparently we're not allowed to sing because of the force that we use, the droplets and the thing. But the guy that goes to the pub and go on,
doesn't matter about him.
He's fine.
Yeah,
he's
fine.
Obviously doesn't have the same droplets as me.
Yeah.
So why can't performers then, and this might sound crazy, wear those visors, the Darth Vader.
The shield things. Yeah, don't know. I've got one as well.
You can wear that at my wedding.
There you go.
I'm just saying that why can't performers, I know it might look odd, but why can't that,
But wait and see, I guess.
Yeah, wait.
Like the spotlight would never get through. We'd never be able to see you. That'd be no good.
Oh yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
Maybe we could do the series. What was it? The Three Girls. What was that TV series where the three girls lived at home together? Oh, it's with Nerys Hughes, and I'm talking. Harveen, you're too young. Helen, what was it?
Liverbirds.
Yes, Liverbirds. Yes. There you go, girls. That's it.
There you go.
I thought you were going to say Gilmore Girls or something.
Oh, that's
the Google Girls, absolutely.
Birds of a feather.
Birds of a feather. I love Dorian. Yeah. Leslie Jones.
Norma will have to be Dorian.
Oh yeah, sister of, absolutely.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to our audience who have tuned in to listen to us today. It's great to have your continued support. We have over 20 interviews over on our AYT YouTube channel, where we have spoken to many inspiring creatives working in various areas of the arts. If ever this was a time to listen and support each other, this is definitely it. Also, if you are feeling the need for more inspiration, you can also visit the AYT website, youngertheatre.com, where we have recently had some fantastic guest writers, theatre reviewers, and much, much more to motivate you and connect you back to theatre. To my guests, Harveen, Helen and Norma, thank you for joining me today.
Pleasure.
I hope you enjoyed it as much as we have.
Really did.
It was great, thank you.
Before we go, do you have any other interviews or projects coming up that we should look out for?
I have quite a few coming up. So head to my Instagram page, Created by Man.
Intriguing.
Fabulous.
Oh, well, fantastic. Well, have a wonderful weekend, all of you. Stay well.
Me too.
And I look forward to speaking with you all again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Lots of love, guys.